Top WrestleMania 39 matches are already planned. Plus, a recently released NXT star is AEW bound, and the Clash at the Castle main event has reportedly been revealed. It is all in the wrestling news right now. WrestleMania 39 seems like a long way away, and considering that it kind of felt a little bit fraught, the journey we got to WrestleMania 38, didn't it? Like a bit lastminute.com for something.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it was strange, kind of, the build to a lot of the things on the card, but then it kind of just over-delivered, didn't it?
It did. It very much did. So this story comes from that Money in the Bank promo that featured Cody Rhodes that aired on Raw and then again on NXT, in which Cody's talking about, hey, the winner of the Money in the Bank gets the chance to headline WrestleMania.
Yes.
We all go, what?
Huh?
That's not how it works. Yeah, I know you've been away for a while, Cody. That's not how it works. Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter today says he had a lot of questions this week over that Money in the Bank commercial, and he writes, Vince has plans already in place for the top matches at WrestleMania, and the winners of Money in the Bank in the title matches wouldn't be that. Although that commercial aired 3 times without an edit, so he's a bit confused. But what we get from that is that the WrestleMania 39 main events are already pretty much etched in stone.
Yeah.
Don't feature Money in the Bank winners at time of recording. Now, what that could potentially mean is that, which is something that we speculated, is that whoever cashes in Money in the Bank will be in the main event.
Yes, I think so. And, as we were talking earlier today, Cody was very much the forefront of the Money in the Bank advertisements and everything, and I could very much see Cody winning Money in the Bank and being very professional about it and being like, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania, me and you, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank. It's going to be the main event kind of thing.
Doing it at Mania.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon he wants to do it. I mean, I think you've got to take, after this huge entire reign, like Roman has had a fantastic run with the belt and everything, and the belts, should I say, sorry, or the titles, whichever one you want to call them. I think it's got to end at Mania. It's got to be a big, huge moment for whoever picks up the championship. And I think, like, if Cody wins Money in the Bank and he does decide, you know what, it is going to be at WrestleMania, going to set the date, do this and that, I think that would be a triumphant moment, really.
You see, I see where you're going with it. I like that idea of a thing happening. I don't think that will happen at Mania.
Okay.
I think that'll happen before Mania.
Okay.
Because for the longest of times, I've believed that the main event for WrestleMania 39 was always squared up to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
That's very true.
And it's a match that you don't need the titles for.
Yes.
You can have Rock and Roman as a marquee match in LA,
Yeah, that's very true, actually. I didn't think about that. But that would be very good.
But your idea is certainly something that can play out before then.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Will Roman Reigns be the guy that Cody potentially cashes in on? We'll find out. We might have a little indicator on that in a news piece coming up at the end of this video, potentially. Watch this space. But according to Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer Radio, so do with that what you will, apparently WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania main events there are pretty much planned.
They're planned,
and
already.
It's May, so well done.
Well done.
Well done. Have a Kit Kat.
It's nice to know that they've got long-term booking. So, we'll see what happens because things change.
Some potentially long-term plans for Malcolm Bivens today. So again, from the Observer for this one. For whatever it's worth, in NXT, the belief is that Bivens didn't re-sign with NXT because he wanted to go to AEW, and that is where he will be when his non-compete ends.
What?
Wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but I know that recently he did a stand-up show. He's very much getting into comedy now. He did a stand-up show and he talked quite openly about his time at WWE. He was asked to be called up and all this, but he kind of just said no, he wasn't happy in WWE. He wanted to go elsewhere and do other things. He did say during that show that for now, wrestling is off the table. However, in true Undertaker fashion, never say never. If the right amount of money turns up, then I assume wrestling will be back on the table for him. And I hope he does whatever he wants to do with all the comedy stuff. He's so good at everything that he does. Like, he is just a natural. One of those, as Jack was saying on the podcast this week, he's one of those people that is just annoyingly good at everything, at every single thing. And Bivens, would be incredible. I think in the AEW sphere, with the amount of kind of like comedic but also like serious stuff, he blends well no matter where he is. He fits into everything. He's the total package, Tom.
That's Lex Luger you're thinking of.
No,
Definitely
definitely
Lex Luger.
Definitely no.
Let us know in the comments who you think you'd like to see old Hathaway, formerly Malcolm Bivens, managing in AEW. There's a few people there. I mean, I know Lance Archer's got Jake Roberts.
Ooh.
Yeah, but, you know, I kind of think, you know, I don't put too many managers around.
Yeah.
Too many cooks. I don't want to know.
Too many cooks.
Let's not do too many cooks.
Let's do too many cooks.
Let's not.
He just pops up in the background of everything.
It takes a lot to make us do. Let us know in the comments who you think he'd be a good person to be our manager of. Trademark news. Dun, 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 dun. That's the theme tune. Trademark news. Trademark news. Trademark news. Look over there. It's some trademark news. Chris Jericho edition.
Oh.
What's Jericho been trademarking, Andrew?
Oh, well, if you've been watching Dynamite recently, oh boy, did he throw a fireball into Eddie Kingston's face. And now he is going around, Tom, calling himself a wizard. I don't know what that was. That was supposed to be a Chris Jericho accent, but it wasn't at all. Chris Jericho, Cage Side Seats are reporting that Chris Jericho recently filed for trademarks on the terms The Wizard and The Watch.
Oh, see, this is either going to be he does become an actual wizard.
Well, he becomes a wizard and then he turns himself into a watch.
What, like a timepiece?
Yeah.
I live on your hand. It's like a weird Pickle Rick thing. No, I assumed he was planning some sort of Discworld themed faction.
Oh, maybe.
Fighting out of Ankh-Morpork. That'd be a thing. There's a deep cut. The Wizard and the Watch, trademarked by Chris Jericho. I mean, if anyone's going to have some fun with the concept of being an actual wizard.
He just runs. If something happens, right, like, you know, with a little bit of the bubbly stuff, I guess things that weren't necessarily planned, when it happens, he just takes off with it, doesn't he? And I think there's been a lot of people having fun with the wizard stuff that he's been saying recently, and he's just want to capitalize on something, isn't he? Which is very clever, I think. That's a very clever thing to do. So we'll see where he goes with this. You'll see if he's like flying fireballs everywhere at everybody and this, that, and the other. But yeah.
Do you know where wizards sometimes live?
Do wizards sometimes live in castles, Tom?
They do sometimes live in castles, my darling. Which brings us to our final story. The Clash of the Castle coming to Cardiff. Collision in Cardiff coming soon. What's our Cymru flavoured main event looking like, Andrew? This is from Dave Meltzer of The Observer once more.
So right now it says it changes by the hour, but right now the plan is for McIntyre and Reigns to headline in Cardiff, which I think we were all kind of thinking was going to happen anyway, because, you know, Drew McIntyre, UK boy, big UK pay-per-view. What else could it be? It was
going to be a thing. I mean, the other option was going to be Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury.
Yes.
I wonder whether we go down the avenue of doing Drew versus Roman, but having Tyson as a ringside enforcer.
Oh,
Tyson! We do that maybe.
Well, he just does that the whole entire way through the match.
Tyson's JR's calling it from Mania 18, Mania 14. Tyson. I think that would be a way of kind of incorporating the back and forth barbs between Tyson and Drew, without maybe putting the pressure on Tyson having a full-on wrestling match at this point.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually, because that's been building up for a while now, hasn't it? They've been having exchanges on Twitter and whatnot, and obviously nothing's really come of that since those things have happened. But that would be quite interesting.
It's funny how, like, for the longest of times, and I think you guys talk about this on the podcast tonight, about sort of who could beat Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Because for a long time, it was like, there doesn't really seem to be anybody that's kind of in a position to beat him.
No.
And now, I don't know whether it's sort of the announcement of like his contract change, or whether it's just the way that there's suddenly a push behind certain players. There seems to be a lot of options all of a sudden.
Well, there's there's been a few. I think,
or at least
especially
two. At least two.
At least I think after Backlash as well. You know, the pop that Randy Orton's been getting. I think Randy Orton's kind of in there as well, slightly too. So I think now with Reigns' contract, kind of, you know, it's slowing down a little bit, as you say. He's taking sort of quite a bit of time, or should I say, he's doing less matches and whatnot. I think we kind of got to start to get the ball rolling on some more credible challenges, right?
And they don't come much more credible than Drew McIntyre at Clash in the Castle in Cardiff. Oh, good luck having Roman beat him in Cardiff.
Woo!
That'll be an angry crowd to attempt to leave via the car park of. I look forward to trying. More news throughout the day and across the weekend at cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.